1,000 of you. You gave me your time, which is a resource that we cannot get back. But not only did you give me your time in watching my videos, but you also went the extra mile. You took even more of your time to comment, to thank me for even sharing the videos in the first place. You shared words of encouragement. You gave me words of encouragement to keep posting, shared your challenges, areas where you're struggling, and I truly appreciate you for it all. And at the time of this recording, we've actually grown just over 1,100 subscribers because you guys kept showing up and rolling in while I was trying to figure out how to say thank you properly. It felt wrong to just type my usual thank you post as we hit our milestones. So I'm saying it out loud right here, right now, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Now, last week I put out a poll because we were to this milestone. And I asked you what you wanted to see once we hit the milestone of growing to 1,000 subscribers. And the winner was live meal prep. So that will be coming very soon. Now, I am not just interested in building an audience. I'm interested in building a community of action takers. I would rather have a small room of people who take action to improve their metabolic health than a stadium of people who are just there to watch and absorb information with no intention of taking action. Your health won't change just because you understand a video or you've watched a video. It changes because you did one thing differently, and then you did it again the next day, and the next week, and the week after that. See what I'm saying? Information is not the missing piece for many of us. Now, yes, relevant, reliable information is important. But today, information is at our fingertips, especially with the introduction of AI. You can get reliable health information quickly in seconds, but that's not what's missing for most of us. I have sat across from person after person who could tell me exactly what they felt they knew they should be doing or what they were supposed to be doing. They weren't confused. They were tired and unsupported, and oftentimes just had a lot on their plate that they were dealing with and very little bandwidth for anything else. So the intention that I'm setting for this community is this. We are people who take action, small, cumulative, and repetitive action over time that moves us towards our goal of consistency in our health behaviors. That's why I make the videos that I do. I don't just want you to be informed. My intention is that with every video I put out here, you should be able to walk away with an action step. And that includes today. At the time of this recording, we're heading into a new week. I want you to take at least one action step this week. Even if this video is hitting you on a Wednesday, midweek, from this point on, I want you to take one action step for the week or the remainder of the week. That's all. Just one. If you're not sure where to start, stay with me. By the end of this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 areas you can consider and just pick one to focus on for this week. Okay, if you're new here, I'm Jessica Tashay Johnson. I'm a board-certified family nurse practitioner, certified diabetes care and education specialist, and endocrinology clinician, which basically means that I spend my working days caring for people living with insulin resistance, all forms of diabetes, thyroid conditions, overweight, and obesity. On my channel, I share clinical insights on metabolic health and package them all into a practical form to encourage you to steward your body well. Okay, back to our action steps for the week. I want you to enter this week on purpose. So I'm going to give you 3 places where you can be purposeful. Pick one, just one, or as I'm chatting with you, if something comes to mind, go with that. Okay, now the first action item sounds pretty simple. Feed your body well. Again, here is an area where you may tell yourself, I know exactly how I should be eating, and you have every intention on doing so. You may have even gone to the length of going to the grocery store and filling the fridge and the cabinets with all the healthy foods. But yet, how many times do you experience those good intentions falling apart at 6 or 7 o'clock when you get home, either from work or your kids' practice, and you're tired, there's nothing ready, and everyone needs to eat right now? Hey, I've been there. And often what happens is we go down that path of least resistance. We order in, we drive through, or we opt for the quick, convenient option that we know is lacking in nutrient density. That's not a willpower or discipline problem. That's a systems problem. That is a decision that got left for the worst possible time to make it. Prepping your food is not simply an act of discipline. It's about moving that decision to feed your body well this week to a time when you actually have the capacity to make it happen. You're not just being more disciplined. You're being kinder to that future version of yourself who walks into the door at 6 or 7 in the evening, tired with a family to feed. Consider it a reallocation of your resources, with your resource being your energy and your bandwidth. Taking a few hours on a weekend or a day off, or just when you have the time to prepare healthy food for you and your family for a time when you will be too busy or too tired, or both, is an example of entering this week on purpose. So if that's your one thing for this week, I've made a full meal prep video to help you get started or to help encourage you. It goes over my batch prep method and shares how I prepare 5 days worth of high protein, high fiber, low glycemic load, and whole food items. This method saves me particularly on the busy weeks. I share my process from start to finish, and the video will be linked in the description box below or somewhere up here on the screen. So you can start there if that sounds interesting to you. All right, the second action item in a way complements the first. Don't do this alone in your home. Get the whole family involved, get the kids involved in particular. And this action item is very near and dear to my heart given my line of work. The prevalence of childhood obesity, prediabetes, and type 2 diabetes are on the rise. And when researchers study how to help children with their metabolic health, the approaches that work best are ones that involve the whole family. That's why current pediatric guidelines on these metabolic conditions are built around family-based treatments and interventions. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Children don't shop for their own groceries, usually. Depending on their age, they're not the primary ones cooking in the home. And they tend to eat what's available in the home. And they copy what they watch the adults do around them. What I'm getting at is, the home environment is crucial in modeling eating behaviors, be it healthy or unhealthy. What's in the pantry, what's on the countertop, what's normal behaviors at your dinner table. So here's what I want you to take away from this. When you meal prep, say on a Sunday, you're not just doing a personal wellness project or on your own personal wellness journey, but you're changing what's considered normal in your home. Your child or children are getting to see you actively decide that your health was worth taking the time to prepare for. You're modeling this behavior. And as frustrating as it can be, kids don't always learn by what you tell them. They learn by what you show them. I feel that frustration at times. And I know this can be a big area of struggle, getting your children to eat healthier. So if you find that you're struggling to get your child or children to eat healthier, I made a whole video on raising metabolically healthy children with a focus on nutrition. In that video, I share 5 strategies for helping parents improve their children's nutrition. And I geared it particularly for the busy parent because I understand that struggle. Now, the third action item is for one specific person. It's for the one who's restarting their health journey. You had it. You had those habits down. You were doing the things. Your workouts were on point. Your nutrition was on point. You were getting good quality sleep. And then something happened. An illness, a crazy busy season of work, a loss of a loved one or a relationship, a stretch of time where just getting through the day was all you could handle. And you might be dealing with that shame or guilt or that negative self-talk that tells you that, you know what, this is just the way things are now. But I want to be clear with you. Setback is not evidence about your character or evidence that that's just the way things are now or that you have to maintain that setback. It's simply evidence that you're human. The people who get to where they're going are not ones who've never fallen off or never experienced a setback, but they are the ones who shorten that gap between falling off and starting again. So if this is where you're finding yourself now, I caution you against trying to restart all those habits all at once. That's a quick road to burnout. But I know how tempting it can be, especially when you're comparing the past version of yourself to the one you see now. But start small. Start with one thing. And this reminds me of the book of Zechariah, where it says, "For who has despised the day of small things?" And this is when they had come out of exile and they were building the new temple. And you know what? It was going to be much smaller in comparison to the one that Solomon had built. But it was still the temple and important to God. A temple, a place of worship and prayer, and later a place where Jesus, the Messiah, will come. And if you're a person of faith, this is a reminder that we should not despise humble beginnings. And it's a reminder of the importance of faith and perseverance and obedience. Just because something starts small does not mean it is insignificant or unimportant. God uses what may seem insignificant to accomplish great things. So starting small on the road towards stewarding your body well is nothing to frown upon. And comparing a previous seemingly more accomplished or healthier version of yourself should not be a reason to despise restarting smaller than where you once were. Start where you are and allow God to do a work within you. I encourage you to take comfort in that small beginning. And if you want to continue this conversation, I made a video on how to restart after a setback that goes into much greater detail on helping you get back on track. Again, it'll be linked in the description or somewhere up here. So that's your week. Take one action step, feed your body well, change as a family, restart without overwhelm. And now I'm going to ask you to take one action right now. Tell me in the comments which action item you're going to put in place this week. Just the number is fine, 1, 2, or 3. Or if something different came to mind while you were watching, maybe it's surrounding restarting your exercise regimen, going for a walk after your largest meal of the day, getting back into the gym, getting to bed earlier, whatever it is. Share it below. Something shifts when you say something out loud in front of other people or share it in one form or another. It stops just being a nice idea and it becomes a commitment. You're making a commitment to yourself. Just think later or now when you scroll the comments and see other people who pick the same action item as you, it's a reminder that you're not doing this alone. Remember, we are a community of action takers. So let's support one another in the comments. I'll be sharing my action items as well. That's what I want this community to be. Action takers, support, accountability, a community. Now, again, thank you for now 1,100 subscribers. And here's what I truly hope to see. I hope to see in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, comments saying, you know what, that meal prep stuff, it's just become a part of my weekend. I want to see that person who starts on a Wednesday instead of waiting for next Monday or waiting for the start of the next month. I want more kids growing up thinking, this is just how my family eats when it comes to eating healthy, nutritious meals to support their metabolic health. That's the channel. So if any of this sounds like what you came for, what you're looking for, you're in the right place. And subscribe, stick around for a bit. And if you're already one of the 1,100 subscribers, make sure you hit that bell notification and I'll see you in the live.